All right, well, that covers your rain chances, your temperatures, and your full 7-day forecast here in central Georgia. But activity still going on over in the Atlantic. So let's take a look at what's happening out here in the Atlantic right now. Just to give you a spoiler alert, still pretty much playing the waiting game. We've got two areas of potential tropical development, those same two areas that we've been talking about for the last couple of days. Now with one that shows high chances of potential development. So let's start with that one. You're looking right now at this low pressure system that is just off the western coast of Africa. This actually has now been deemed Invest 96L. We talk about what that means a lot, but essentially an invest just means that the National Hurricane Center is looking into the system a little bit further. Oftentimes, but not always, it means that they're fairly confident that this system is likely to become some sort of tropical something as we go into the next several days, or at the very least in its lifespan. So this is Invest 96L. It is a low pressure system that formed due to a tropical wave rolling off the west coast of Africa and is now expected to have high chances of potential development as we go throughout the next several days. It actually has equal chances in the next 2 and the next 7 days. What that typically means is that we're looking at some sort of formation in the near future. It's got a 70% chance of development overall, which means as it kind of drifts further over to the northwest in this area of the Atlantic right now, that is when we're expected to see some development. And it is looking more and more likely. The low pressure system starts to look a little bit more organized. It's still continuing to show shower and thunderstorm activity associated with it. And this area of the Atlantic right here is fairly neutral. As we get a little bit further and further out, once you start making your way towards the Windward Islands, especially towards the Lesser Antilles, you may even be able to see it on the satellite here. We have some Saharan dust out there, and also there's been a lot of wind shear out there throughout the Atlantic season so far. So this is where things start to get a little tricky. As we get towards the weekend, its chances of development don't look quite as good, but at least here for the next few days, this region of the Atlantic looks like it could be conducive for continued tropical development. I wouldn't be surprised if we were calling this a tropical depression by the time we got to sometime later this week. But again, it all depends on what happens to it as it drifts over into the Atlantic. So something to keep our eye on for sure. This is definitely the system with the highest promise for tropical development, but we do still have this other low pressure system that is also in the central Atlantic. Now this is another low pressure system and also another Invest. This is actually Invest 95L, and this still has medium chances of development. In fact, chances of development that are decreasing. We were sitting at 50% chance of development overall earlier this morning. Then with the 8 a.m. update, the National Hurricane Center actually dropped those chances of development from 50 back down to 40. The reason being is this is a fast moving low pressure system. You can see the beginning of its life cycle here was down southeast of Bermuda. It's now way to the northeast of Bermuda, kind of getting picked up by upper level winds up here. And something else that you'll notice is that its organization is extremely vertical. It's got a lot going on here because of the upper level winds. It's sort of elongating and dragging the system out, which makes the low pressure system pretty broad. So it's making it a bit difficult for that to become a tight, organized low pressure system. And it's also kind of detaching the shower and thunderstorm activity from the center of circulation. So it's not looking like it's showing super organized signs. And as it continues to run pretty quickly up to the northeast, it's only making its way into an environment that is becoming less and less conducive for continued tropical development. Those upper level winds are pretty hostile up there, and it's going to run into some colder sea surface temperatures. So possibly could become a system, but that needs to happen basically by today. By the time we get into Wednesday, its chances of development are going to basically be near zero. Whichever system forms or doesn't form, the name it would be looking to take is Dolly, and it would become the 4th named storm of the 2026 Atlantic hurricane season.